Samplab is the creator of a sampler using AI technology to split different instruments from the same sample and even turn MIDI into audio and audio back into MIDI. It's a truly powerful tool with today's AI technological advances. But this video is not about that Samplab plugin. It's about this Samplab plugin. Text to sample is exactly how it sounds. You put the text into this little box and then AI uses that prompt to give you a sample. But there's one key difference here. Once you have your sample laid out, by clicking one button, you can continue the loop while using context from the original melody. And that's where things really get crazy here. But with a lot of other companies and AI models going around, how does it compare to something more like Wave Tool, MusicLM by Google, or even Meta's AI? Well, today we're going to find out, and what better place to start than the prompts. Alright, so as you can see in the bottom over here, I've already done quite a few different tests over here, and some of them were complete busts that I just left in the dirt. So let's just go through some of the prompts over here and see if we can't get anything that we like. Start off pretty simple. Okay, so as you can tell, the tail end sounds very different than the rest of it. We have like a drop near the end. So we got a lot of diversity over here and a lot of variation. So let's just go ahead and try and hit plus over here, which is continuing the audio. So we have 10-second duration for the melody over here, which you can also change, by the way. But for the context, going to look at how many seconds of the sample we're going to have to continue from. Let's go ahead and generate and see what happens. Now that sounds really cool, so I'm going to hit that plus button one more time and go to maybe 5 seconds. This is the whole thing, so where you can have a good prompt and everything, but if you don't like something, or if you like the way that it's starting to go into, you can just keep on hitting plus until you find something that you really do enjoy. Which I think has the possibility for some really great results, but we'll see. This is good. I like that. Once again, hitting plus one more time, I want to see how that really goes on. Change up the groove a little bit. See, that's my whole thing here, okay? Is that with a lot of these AI samples in general, not just this product, but AI in general, it sounds like it's never quite reaching like a climax or a chorus of any sorts. Like, it just feels like it keeps on building to where there's not really any loopable thing. I don't know if I would consider that a problem or just an obstacle to work around in your production or anything like that, but it is something to mention. And the great part about it continuing the sample is that now I can just drag all three of these onto my DAW and sync them up the best that we can. This actually does sound kind of sick. Okay, so it's like right around there that I need to chop this one out. One thing I will notice is that a lot of the drum hits are very clear in these AI samples though, so that does kind of help, particularly with syncing up to stuff like this. And then just completely change up the groove like that. Like, that's actually pretty intuitive. So obviously it's not on time because it would be 16 bars long or 8 bars long at a certain BPM, but this is nowhere near even close to either one. So depending on what you want to do with your newfound sample, this could be good enough for anyone to just export and then not really care about the timing all too much. If you're planning on sampling it, you would need to do quite a bit more to it, as in like put it more on time at find the correct BPM or stretch it to be on a correct BPM, which for me, I would definitely prefer putting everything on beats, but I need to do other stuff today, so I'm not going to do that. This is as good as I'm going to get it right now. Let's try out some different prompts now. Wait on, what is it? It's like flamenco guitar, right? I feel like I'm not spelling that right. Oh, it's flamenco. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Understood. And just for the sake of this video, I'm going to be lowering it down from 10 seconds down to 5, just so we can go through a few different more over here in a quicker pace. I'm just going to go ahead and generate that one more time and see if we get something different at all. I actually like that a little bit better. That's pretty cool. Electric guitar. I'm really into guitars recently, if you can't tell. Not really what I'm looking for here. All right, let's go a more traditionally understood path, but get a little bit more specific as well. So we're gonna do like a sad piano melody with violins in the background. Okay, the violin sounded okay, but there was no even like mention of a piano in there. I said in the background, not the literal only instrument in there. All right, let's just get rid of that, see what happens. That could be used. We can actually make it so it's not just that part right there. It can be more like this one. And yeah, you can move it all by itself like that. Let's try and do something like this. Not quite. I'm gonna try hitting generate one more time and seeing if we can't get something that's just a straight 10-second long melody. What the fuck? Okay, no, we're done. We're gonna leave that there. In fact, let's actually think, I think it might be more like this, and then maybe cut off right there, and then just do that, maybe, huh? And that's okay. When it comes to AI, I freaking love simple things. There's 2 notes in here with like some effects and everything going on, but that's all that I really want. If I'm being honest, if I ever use AI as a sample in a track, it's because I want to start a track that way, not it's going to be the entire focus. And then make unique, and then we'll just have to use that ear to try and change up the sample a little bit so it's not just a straight 2-bar loop. Definitely fits. This is pushing it. This is pushing it. We'll see. It still sounds okay. Honestly, I like it. It's a simple little pattern. It's a simple melody sample made by AI, and I think it works out pretty well. And again, you don't need to leave it like this. You can add on your own melodies, put on some counter melodies, chop it up, add some different effects, really make it your own. But no matter how you use it, this is a great sample. And maybe I'll finish that in the future. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Okay, so one thing that I've learned from my initial tests and recording this video here is that the more short, generic prompts seem to work the best here. Whenever I try to get more detailed and add multiple instruments, it kind of falls apart and doesn't really know what to do, which for me I see as a plus. It's less work for the prompts and you still get something you can really use. And once again, with the ability to continue the audio by pressing one button with context from the original sample, you can just keep on going until you find something that you like, or once you already have something, you can keep on building stuff into an entire track, which is exactly what I did in the first couple times when using this plugin. I've created 3 demos from the most usable samples that I could find. 1 I think has potential, 2 I didn't like all that much, and then 3 I really do think it's the best sample I've created with this plugin so far. So I put the prompt dark acoustic guitar into the plugin, and it gave me this sample right here. Now, I don't know about you, but I really don't hear any sort of dark acoustic guitar here at all. So it didn't quite give me what I wanted, but I still found something that I think I could use in a track, so I continued with it. And also, I won't lie, I think a lot of the intrigue from this track and the sample in general is that I put some Shaperbox 3 over it, and that gave it some truly crazy, unique results here. And if you guys are interested in getting Shaperbox 3, I've got a link down below where you can go and pick up that plugin. It truly is one of my favorites of all time. And then I made 2 different drum patterns for this track and arranged it out a little bit, making it sound like this. Now for demo track number 2, I really tried to experiment more with the continuation factor here. Once again, using the dark acoustic guitar prompt, I got one sample I was confident I could use, and then had the plugin continue at one time, so I've got 2 different samples inside this one track. And yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this track. I tried to make the sounds like they came from the actual sample and not just me layering over some other drums. And I don't know if it was like a mixing issue for the drums, but I just wasn't really feeling it. But I still wanted to showcase it here because it was my first attempt at using 2 different samples and a very small ARP counter melody that I laid down too. Alright, Alright, now time for demo track number 3, and this one is by far my favorite sample I've gotten from this plugin. My favorite things to sample are vintage sounds for more lo-fi hip-hop, and this prompt worked very well. It immediately gave me a sample I knew that I could use, but then this track I really ran with the continuation feature, having up to 3 different samples in this one track thanks to the text-to-sample plugin, making it sound like a more cohesive sample that came from an old song.